Okay, Antoine. So this was one of the things that you and I were talking about the other night when we were out in the desert, and one of the little things that I was complaining about with Nina, and that was having to always set something in the imaging tab or in the sequencer tab, and I found out how to set a default, and it's really, really cool. So I'm going to show you real quick. So I just did a Sky Atlas search for M4. So here's M4. And I'm going to send it over to the framing assistant. So here's the framing assistant. This is the way I want to image it. And I'm going to go to simple sequencer. So this is what I was talking about, how the slew to target is always turned off. Let me delete the old one. Yes. Slew to target is turned off. Center target guiding, everything is turned off. The autofocus routines, all of this stuff is turned off by default. And so I found out a way to set it, and I'm really excited about this, so I'm going to show it to you. So what you do first is you go in and you turn on the things that you're going to always want to be turned on, which would be obviously slew to the target, center the target by plate solving. You want to start guiding, and if you're using a scope with a rotator like I am with my 152, and then I want to autofocus on the start. I want to autofocus on filter changes. I want to autofocus after a 10-degree change in temperature. And I want to autofocus after an HFR increase in the amount of 10%. And here's the even cooler thing. So you can also go in and let's say you always want to do a certain number. I'm going to just make stuff up here. I want to do 30. I'll actually make one that I can use. 182nd luminance, and I want to dither every, let's say, 3 frames. Okay, and then I can go in and I can set up 3 more of these for red, green, and blue. So I'll set up red, green, and blue, and I'm going to dither the same amount. So anytime I do LRGB, this is usually what I do is I set it to do 30 180-second exposures, and if I'm doing narrowband, I'll go ahead and set those up too. So I'm going to do 30. And I'm going to do 600 seconds of hydrogen alpha, and I'm going to dither every, let's say, 2 frames. So that's the way I want that to be. And then I can go in and I can set up for O3 and S2 as well. So this is pretty much the way I want my sequence to be. I want to make sure that it's set to automatically do the meridian flip and cool the camera down. I'm not worried about the end of target because I'm usually awake and watching or whatever. So now you go in and you save this sequence as a new XML. So I'm going to save it, and I'm going to save it. I'm going to overwrite the one I did earlier as a test. And remember where you put this file. So I have it on my desktop in a folder labeled Nina file. So this is my default simple sequencer. So I'm going to save that there. Yes, I want to overwrite the old one. All right, so now here's the really cool thing. You go into Options, Imaging, and you go over to Sequence, and where it says Simple Sequence Template right here. So you go and you find that folder and you select the template that you've set up as the template. So now when I go into my sequencer, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete this sequence, and I'm going to go and I'm going to find something different. So one of my other targets that I want to shoot, let's say, is M6. So I'll find M6, and let's see, where is M6? The butterfly cluster, here it is. I'll set it for framing. And okay, so let's say this is the way I want to do my framing, and I'm going to add the target to the sequence, to the simple sequencer, and watch what happens here. So it sends it over to the simple sequencer, and it automatically has all of my settings turned on, autofocus settings the way I want it, and it has all of this. And of course, if I'm going to do just RGB, I can go in here, I can select this, delete that, and I can go in here and I can delete these 3 narrow bands, and now I'm set to go RGB. A whole lot simpler than going in and having to build all of these things manually each time. This is the part I love, the fact that it automatically sets everything up here to be in the on position where you want it, including the autofocus start and filter change and temperature change and all of that mess. So that's really the cool thing that I wanted to show you. But this part right here where it sets the number of frames of the different filters, that's just like a bonus. That's like icing on the cake. So hope you enjoy.